Hey everybody, welcome to Phoenix 76 Tech Talks. This is Erica. I know you've seen me in other ways before, but here I am on the Zoom because that's what we do here at P76 Tech Talks. And I am here with James. Hey James, how are you?
I'm pretty good, Erica. How about yourself?
I'm doing well, thank you. Well, thank you for joining us today. And we're gonna double click, as they say, into the project coordinator role. But before we do that, can you tell us a little bit about yourself?
Yeah, so my name is James. When I graduated, I came out as a software developer, computer information technology. I saw a project manager come in and like save our small startup. And I said, that's what I want to do. So I got to the grind. I started learning what project management was about as a developer, received a master's in project management, got into the role, learned about Agile, and now I currently manage a group of project managers in my current role.
Fantastic. That's great. Like a superhero. I'm a project manager myself, and I never thought of myself as a superhero. So now when I go back to work, forget about it. It's all over. Be like I'm here to save everything. So let's talk about the project coordinator role. Can we go into that a little bit? What skills are required for that role?
Yeah, so the typical project coordinator role, there's kind of a couple different avenues. The avenue I want to discuss is on the more heavy project coordinator role. Some project coordinators just do one specific thing. Maybe they're focused on the schedule, and so that's what they are zoned in on, and so they're making sure that tasks are coming in on time, timelines are met, milestones are taken care of, understand the critical path. But the path I want to talk about is really that full project coordinator role where you're looking at the scope, you're looking at the time, and you're looking at the budget. And so the typical skills you're looking for, and this is just great skills to have overall, interpersonal skills, being able to communicate with people, being able to take a lot of information and bubble it up and raise it up so you can communicate out to your stakeholders and especially your key stakeholders or sponsors, being able to work with people and take that high level information and actually go deep in it. And then you can
Mhm.
use that as, hey, here's how we go about getting work done. And the last, a couple other skills, risk and issue management. Understanding what risks are, those are future events that could negatively or positively, but most people think in the negative way that could impact your project, and issues, right? Things that are impacting us now, it's hurting us. And with those, you're pretty solid as a project coordinator.
No, I agree. And, when we talk about risks and issues, sometimes people can't tell the difference between two. So I really appreciate your definition of them because a risk could be a good thing because you're trying to get ahead of it, right? It's when the risk becomes an issue that, you have a problem. So I appreciate that definition. What type of training or education does a project coordinator role entail or require?
Yeah, I believe facilitation is a fantastic way to be able to go into a project coordinator role. When you look at what project coordination is about, it is about delivering something at a specific time, meeting some sort of demand, and being able to facilitate a conversation because you will have a lot of conversations. That is something as a project coordinator you will do a lot of. Knowing how to set up meetings,
Mhm.
structure them, have a purpose and an agenda within your meeting. And that saves you because if someone deviates from your purpose and agenda, you have the right to interrupt them politely and
Of
get them
course.
back on track. Um, I think that it sounds so funny, but once I learned how to facilitate, everything just started falling into place. Whatever I wanted to get, I was able to get it.
Mhm. And what does a typical day look like for a project coordinator? Like, what do you anticipate, just based on your experience, what that day would look like?
So that typical day is really focused in on what are the next critical milestones we are trying to hit. Also, do we have any issues? So this is where you want to check your issues before risks. Do we have issues impacting us that may make us miss that milestone? And take a look at future risks. Now, you also, once you have an understanding of that, take a look at your schedule. Make sure that you're communicating with whoever you need to communicate with. It could be internal to internal stakeholders. You could be working with external vendors and making sure that you're receiving software on time, you're receiving hardware on time in order to build things. And so there's so many activities, but really, if you take a look at your schedule, and again, your schedule typically, milestone is like one point in time, it's just a line item. Your schedule probably is going to consist of a lot of work items or tasks to do. Take a look at that, and that will help you adjust whatever, for whatever arises.
Mm, mhm. And if someone doesn't, they're interested in project management, but they just don't know how to start, where to start, don't know whether they want to really stick to that field, do you think the project coordinator role is a good way to start to get a feel of an overall project management program, etc.?
I think it's a fantastic way. That's how I started. So I was a developer. I was working with the project manager. I was a developer. I said, hey, can I take something away from you? I know this area very well. And can you coach and mentor me and help me level up? And he took me on. And what I got to see was, wow, this is a lot harder than what I thought it was going to be.
Mm-hmm.
But it allowed me to get up out of my chair and off the computer and go have more conversations. And I found out I like that. So I think that's how I would go about it, is take something small, see how you can learn even during your job, and it's going to just help you. It's going to help you network as well,
Mhm.
and make sure people see that you are diverse in what you can do.
Awesome. So before we end our conversation today, this is all very fascinating. So thank you, James. Is there anything that you'd want our listeners and viewers to know, any last tips or tools, tips, techniques regarding this role if they're interested in obtaining a project coordinator role?
Yes. So understand the traditional project management. So you're looking at PMI.org, and triple constraint, your scope, your time, your budget, but then also look at the agile side. So typically, a lot of people talk about Scrum,
Mhm.
or Kanban. I have a Kanban board
Mm.
behind me.
Yeah.
And and what this will allow you to do is be able to be flexible based
Mhm.
on whatever company you're working for, who may be more traditional or maybe a little bit looser, whatever project you're doing, because there are some that have a specific date, or you could be working on an innovative project and you probably want to be on the more agile side for the innovation type projects. If you do these, if you understand a little bit of both of those worlds, it allows you to just have more tools in your toolbox that you can use when you're working with your team.
Well, James, thank you so much. So much insight into this also important role. And on behalf of all of us at P76 Tech Talks, we just want to say thank you so much for joining us today.
Thank you, Erica.